Hey, everybody, it's your friend James Shaw. Thanks for joining us, and I trust you're doing all right. We're doing what we do, which is talking to elite people who are doing elite things. And I'm excited today. Sometimes I interview people I've never met before. Sometimes I interview people I know a little bit. Sometimes I get to interview people I've known for a while. And today is one of the days I get to interview somebody I've known for a while. Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing well, James. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on. First of all, we're so proud of you. Here's why we're doing this interview, because if you're watching this live, today is the day, April the 3rd, that voting starts for NAR magazine or Realtor magazine's 30 under 30. And Kim, you are a candidate for 30 under 30 from Realtor magazine. So we want people to go out and vote, vote, vote. So we're putting in the comments and in the post and wherever you're watching this, we have the link that you need to be able to go and vote for Kim, because they do like a Fans Choice Award that guarantees you in that 30 under 30. And we want you to win it. We're here. We're cheering for you. So Kim, congratulations. But everybody watching, just vote like continuously as you watch this interview so we can help Kim get in 30 under 30. But Kim, congratulations for being nominated. You've got to be so excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. First of all, I'm so honored to be a part of the NAR 30 under 30. It's just an elite group, but, I'm competing with a lot of other great agents. And, since becoming an agent, this is something we strive for. And I just hope to inspire others.
Yeah, well, you certainly will. And you've been part of Pivot Shift Ahead for a long time. You have been engaged in what we're doing inside the Inspire Collective for a long time. You come to all of our events. So we're cheering for you. There's lots of other KW candidates too. So we want you to vote for everybody. And yet we're really pushing for you, Kim. So just you tell me, how did you even think you made this nomination list to be a 30 under 30? What led to that?
Right. So, since becoming an agent, I really just invested my time and effort into just learning and growing. I can remember like the first day I became an agent, and having so much time on my hands, just joining a bunch of groups, including, the Pivot Shift group call that we do every morning. And I think the biggest thing is just, investing your time and learning, because that's the biggest asset that you could do to grow your business.
Yeah, well, it's worked for you. So let's walk through your business a little bit. When did you get your license?
Yeah, so I'm a solo agent. I actually started back in October 2019, and this October will be 5 years.
Okay, now tell us about your first year, because your first year got off to a slow start.
Yes. Yeah. If I remember back in my first year, I only did 2 transactions. I remember it was like a 1 rental listing and 1 buyer sale. And, during that year, if I could go back, I'm like, wow, I had so much free time. And I really, dove in and started learning.
Okay, so was it frustrating though? 1 rental and what would you say, a buyer and a rental?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that frustrating? And did you ever think at that point that this isn't for you?
Of course. There's many times that I thought about, I'm like, I'm just going to quit, get out of the business. I don't know if this is for me. But something in me, like I was sharing with Vicky and a lot of other agent friends, I've always been someone that's been persistent and I don't give up. So I could remember back to like high school, just like attending every class, no missed days. And the same thing applied for real estate. Like I had to show up every day, even if it wasn't an appointment. I was some sort of like training or some sort of, coaching that I was a part of.
Okay, so you decided to keep pushing, even though you thought about giving up. What started to happen over time as you were hanging out with the right people, learning the right things, and getting into action? What started to happen for you?
It just, when you start hanging around a lot of successful top agents, that's where I was at, every morning with the Pivot Shift group. I was masterminding with top agents and also my market center. It just started to rub off a little bit. Like, I saw everyone making calls. I started making calls. I still do in my business, like every morning from 9 to 11. I'm just making those calls and just staying consistent.
Who are you calling? Where's your business come from?
So if I could share with you, like my top like lead sources,
Please do.
I'm calling my database most of the time. That's like my number 1 source of business.
That is fascinating. So, and you sold how many homes last year?
Last year, I think it was between either like 20, I think it was like 25 to 30.
All right, so 30 homes, 25 to 30 homes. You're selling a home every couple of weeks.
Yes.
as a solo agent with no leverage. You've added, I think, a virtual assistant here recently, but you're doing all the things all the time, and yet your first year in the business, you did one rental and one buyer. So this is significant growth. How does one grow in that way? Is it really as simple as consistent communication with your database?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would like to say that, but I think it's, there's many aspects that I contribute to my success in my business. I would say three things like coaching, mindset, and then systems. If I like coaching, for example, like I can remember since day one when I joined Keller Williams, I've been part of some sort of coaching. I started with productivity coaching. Then I went off to, doing breakthrough coaching. And then now I'm with a MAPS coach. So that was really important for me, speaking to a coach, getting me out of my wrong state of mind sometimes. And then the second thing was like mindset. I think is really important to me. Every morning I want to start off on like a positive note. I do affirmations and before making my calls. And then lastly, like systems. I have a virtual assistant now, but before, I was doing a monthly newsletter by myself and just having someone else where I could kind of put that leverage and help with my systems has definitely helped me be more organized and most importantly, elevate my business every year.
Oh, I like you use the word elevate. So let's talk about some of this stuff. Let's talk about coaching first.
Sure.
When you joined Keller Williams in 2019, you had a productivity coach. I imagine that was probably required inside your market center.
Right.
In Hudson Valley, you have a great market center group up there with great leadership. So you got into productivity coaching. Did you graduate from that? It's a certain number of transactions until you get to a certain spot, and then they kind of release you to the world, right?
Yes.
So did you naturally make a decision then to go from your productivity coaching into a breakthrough, which is from MAPS? MAPS coaching offers this breakthrough coaching. Is that who you were with?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a call every other week. Basically, it's 2 calls a month, and I don't know, it's like $450 or $500 a month or something like that, but it's a one-on-one coach.
Right.
Was that a natural progression for you that when you graduated from your productivity coaching to go into MAPS breakthrough coaching?
Thinking back, I don't know why it was such a hard decision to make, especially you're coming out from like someone hand holding you, like my productivity coach. I was calling her every day for everything. And then you go to, being on your own. And thinking back, I'm like, I didn't really have much money. I was just starting off. I was putting a lot of money into marketing. And it was a hard thing to do, putting things on my credit card. I didn't have too much. And but thinking back, I mean, I would just jump in and do everything all over again because I can't do this alone. The coaches I've had throughout my real estate career has been very, very useful and helpful for my business. Yes.
That's really great. Okay. And so in what ways did your coach help you? Because you invested in it in a time you were kind of worried maybe you couldn't afford it. And by the way, I'm not here. This is not a MAPS call. I'm not here to sell MAPS. I'm just curious about why you did it, because you said it wasn't really in the budget, but you felt like you had to. But then you made the jump from breakthrough, which is like $450 a month, to mastery, which is $1,000 a month. So I don't know, how does it help you? How did it give you that push you needed so that you would continue to invest in it?
Right. I think it was just like the confidence I was just seeing in other agents. I was speaking to a lot of like my pivot friends and most of them were already in coaching. So for me, I was like, this is no brainer. Like I have to invest in some sort of coach. So, that's why I did it. I just went in all in.
What would you attribute to coaching that's helped you go from one rental and one buyer to, 25 to 30 deals a year?
Yeah. I mean, most of the numerous coaches that I've had, they're just showing me insights. They're showing me, things new ways that I would have never thought. For example, like my second year in the business, I wasn't doing any client events. And then from there, through coaching, I was seeing or hearing stories of other successful agents doing it. My coach kind of helped me plan it all out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a wonderful experience.
That's what we do in Pivot Shift Ahead, which you're on that call every day. That's what we do in Inspire every week. You're part of the Inspire Collective, which is my private mastermind. So it sounds like to me, learning what's working for others and then implementing those things is a big part of the success of your business. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, James. I think the biggest thing for me as well is like, I'm such an implement person, just like go in the car and just start driving, 60 miles per hour. And coaching has allowed me to like slow down a bit, put a plan in place, and then, you get to go in the car however fast you want to go.
Yeah, and that ultimately helps your mindset, which is
Right.
something you talked about earlier, hanging out with people who are forward thinking and are focused on things they can control in today's market versus things they can't. And that's why your mindset's so good. So then you talked about specific plays that you're running. You have a monthly newsletter, you're doing a lot on social media, and you host an event every month. Will you chunk through some of those for us so we can learn about those three pieces and how they help you connect with people and sell homes?
Yes. So, ultimately, like I had to go back, evaluate my systems, and I think I'm strongest when I'm in front of people. So, speaking to my coach, we put together a plan, like a monthly plan, like what sort of event can we do on a macro or micro level. And for example, like for May coming up, we're doing a Mama Mimosas brunch, and just for that event, I mean, I'm partnering with other community influencers in my local area. And it allows me to, each event that we're planning out, anywhere between like 10 to 15 touches, reaching out to my database, inviting them. And like we always hear, especially like Ellie McIntyre from Early Birds, she talks about, it's not about the people that show up at the event, it's about the invitation. And, I think that's been my strongest outlook in this business, just reaching out to people and being in front of them.
And you've really grown your database in this process too.
Yes. My first year, I remember going through my phone contacts, and I'm like, I have 300 people. Okay, that's a great start. And then
a good database, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, I mean, now I probably have close to like 1,300, 1,400 people.
Wow. You're building that through the events and people you meet there and really connecting with the community. That's your play.
Yes.
Yeah. What's a mistake you've made? I mean, it all sounds like a pink fluffy unicorn right now. You've gone from 2 deals in your first year to now you're doing 30.
Right.
But where have you messed up and what lessons have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, James. Thinking back, I've always made mistakes, but I think the biggest one is thinking I could do it myself, which was the biggest mistake ever because, I wish I would have hired earlier a virtual assistant to help me with my plan, putting together events. I was like one person doing everything and I just felt so overwhelmed. And if I could go back, I would definitely hire sooner.
Okay, that's really good advice. And so hopefully someone will listen to it.
Yes.
If you were going to give additional advice to someone that's sitting there and they feel like you felt earlier, which was, is this for me? Do I want to bail on this? This is harder than I thought. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, just to hang in there and just invest in training. I think that's the biggest useful thing that you could do when you have so much free time as a new agent. Just go all in. All, market training, the market center training, the free resources we have available through Privet Call. Just go all in and it'll definitely make worth your time. And most importantly, build your confidence like it did for me.
You're awesome. I'm so proud of you. Again, Kim, we're having you on because you're a candidate for 30 under 30 and people can start voting now. So if you're watching this live, voting is open and we put the link in the comments so that you can go vote over and over and over. And if you're watching the recording, go vote if voting is still open. Go double check. Last year, we interviewed Brittany McAllister, who's a member of our Pivot community and our Inspire community, just like you are. We interviewed her for it. And then when we got to our in-person event that we do at the end of April every year called Elevate, she was able to announce that she had made it. We want that to happen for you too, Kim. I want to get to Indianapolis for Elevate. You'll be there for it. And I want to hear Kimberly tell us, I made it. I'm in as 30 under 30. So we want you to succeed in that. And yet we're so proud of you to be on the list. Anything else you want to share with our people before we kick it?
No, I just want to thank you, James, and the whole staff, and also my agent friends. I think, I might be quiet in the background, but I'm listening. I'm listening to everything, what everyone is saying and implementing. And I hope to be an inspiration to someone also new in the business starting off.
You were such an inspiration. Let me let you in on a secret. I'm just going to tell you, I don't want anybody else to listen. So if anybody is watching this, I want you to hit the mute button so you cannot hear my private conversation with Kim. Kim, I love what I like to call silent, successful agents. You are a silent, successful agent. In other words, you don't have to run around and tell everybody how great you are all the time. You just get up and you go to work and you let the results speak for themselves. And those are my favorites. And I love interviewing those silent, successful agents because you get up and you run the plays like we teach you to do, and you don't go out and thump your chest about it. And we can learn so much from an agent like you. So, yes, you might be in the background and you might be quiet, but you're out there impacting families, changing lives, and supporting your community. And we're so proud of you. So just that's between you and me. Don't tell anybody I said that.
I'll keep it secret. Yes.
Okay. All right. Keep it a secret. Best of luck. We're cheering for you. I'm going to go vote as much as I can. And we're proud of you for making the list. Congratulations, Kim.
Thanks again, James.